How's it going, everyone? This is GL1526, Jill for short. Welcome to the Gunpla Lair. In this review, we'll be looking at the HGUC Gouf revived version. The Gouf is one of the classics of the Gundam franchise, though a bit overshadowed by the Zaku, at times jokingly called Blue Zaku. But well, we all know what Gundam's best character Ramba Ral has to say about that.
This is no Zaku, boy! No Zaku!
Enough about that though. We're here to look at one of its kit incarnations. What does this revived version HG has to offer? Starting with the overall look. First, I should mention, no decals are included in this kit. These ones on mine are mostly left over from other kits, except the Zeon emblems here on the chest and the shield, and these ones on the pauldrons. These are from the Gundam HG Water Decal set number 28. I have an older one though, this one I just panel lined. This suit is undoubtedly Zeon, with more rounded shapes as opposed to the more polygonal shapes of the Gundam and other Federation suits. Moreover, while the Gundam takes inspiration from samurai armor, Zeon suits including the Gouf is more reminiscent of European-style medieval armor. Then there's the mono eye, and the segmented pipes on the head and torso. The spikes on the shoulders add character to the overall silhouette. The HD Revive depicts these elements of the mecha design faithfully, only they updated the proportions to fit with the modern design philosophies of the franchise. Okay, elephant in the room. While I'm reluctant to admit it, the Gouf design is obviously derivative of the Zaku, though that's not necessarily a bad thing, yeah? It's building up from an already beautiful design. It's an improvement. That's my personal bias though. Zaku fans, let me know how wrong I am in the comments. The Gouf is overall symmetrical, but makes use of a bit of asymmetry, which is another aspect I like about it. The left manipulator is a 5-barrel gun, making it bigger than the right. This asymmetry is balanced by making the heat rod a right-hand only feature. There is some surface detail, not plenty, but a fair amount for an HG. You get some nice panel lines, particularly on the limbs. A few of the seam lines are stylized. In terms of color, the Gouf sports a nice harmony. The blue is obviously the dominant color, which is intentional to go with Ramba Ral, nicknamed the Blue Giant. It uses a darker blue for the central aspect, the torso, and lighter for the periphery. Then you get a touch of bright orange, the complementary color, on the cockpit area. It's the same color used for the heat sword, so this complementary scheme gets a bit more attention when it is equipped. Black is used strategically to break up the blues. You also get lighter grays for the joint parts, which is common in Gunpla. For accessories, the Gouf has its shield, 2 heat swords, and the heat rod. The shield is pretty simple, though has a nice color separation. Can attach to the left forearm using this slot, but also has a handle for the MS to hold onto. The handle features a good range of movement, enabling more posing options. There is a pair of heat swords with mirroring attachment tabs on their handles. This means one is meant for use on the right hand, while the other is meant for use on the left hand. When not in use, you can store one of the handles in the shield. As far as I remember, the Gouf only used one heat sword in the original anime. Been a while since I watched it. Now I have an excuse for a rewatch. Anyway, we have a second one since the mold of this kit is based on the Gouf R35 HG from Build Fighters, which was completely symmetrical. They did not just include it, but even designed an alternate left manipulator to be able to hold the sword. Thus you can dual wield them. That's pretty nice of you, eh, Bandai? My only complaint here is there is only one storage slot for the heat sword handle, since they did not include full parts for the second shield. The R35 also had storage slots on the legs for the sword handles, as an additional option. That's just me being nitpicky though. I just like it when you have places on the MS to place all included weapons when not in use. Now for the heat rod, you simply weave these parts into the holding hand and attach this end to the slot on the right forearm. It is made of soft, bendable material but still stiff enough to hold the poses you put it into. Use it as you like for some whipping action. Just keep in mind that when stored for a while, it may get too stiff. You may need to heat it with a hairdryer to make it malleable again. As was mentioned when I was talking about the weapons, the Gouf has dedicated hands for holding them. As for additional, there is a closed fist one for the right and articulated gun hands for the left. Yeah, this is actually meant to be the default one when it comes to the left hand. Let's check the articulation, starting with the head. First off, you can move the mono eye with this little tab beneath the head. The neck is a double ball joint, allowing a limited up and down tilt. You can move the head forward to improve the range. It can rotate a full 360. The torso crunch isn't much, same with the side tilt. It can twist a bit, limited by the pipes. You can raise the arm about this far, move the pauldron out of the way and you can raise it higher. Kinda makes it look awkward though. Anyway, you can rotate the arm fully. The upper arm also rotates full 360. The elbow is double jointed and allows a bend up to here. The armor shape limits it, but still over a 90-degree bend, not too bad. The hand tilts and rotates on a ball joint. The fingers on this left hand have a bit of articulation. You can raise the leg frontward this far. The front skirt part connects to the side skirts by a small ball joint. It can move to allow a good range of leg movement. Just keep in mind that this tends to pop off if you push the leg too far. Towards the back, only this far due to the back skirt being static. You can raise the leg sideways about this far before the side skirt starts to come off. The hip joints are connected via a bar that allows the legs to swing like this. You have a complete thigh rotation. The knees are double jointed like the elbows. The bend range is over 90 degrees as well. The ankle construction allows the foot to tilt side to side a bit. It can move pretty far towards the front. You can then move the foot some more with a hinge joint in here. Not a lot towards the back due to this bell-bottom design of the leg armor. All in all, the articulation of the Gouf Revive is good. Not really mind-blowing compared to newer releases, but I imagine this is a vast improvement compared to the original high grade. You can put it in a good range of dynamic, but not over-the-top poses. Being a Revive version, this kit heavily features updated engineering from its older counterpart. That said, I don't have the original HG, so I can make actual comparisons. But looking at photos and manual scans of the older HG Gouf, there is a drastic difference in joint design and part separation. Important thing to note is that this is a polycap build. I don't hate polycaps by the way, but there's a reason Bandai has been straying away from them. They tend to loosen up over time, especially if you change the poses of your kits a lot. In my experience, the worst of this are the side skirts, probably because the legs tend to be moved a lot during posing, and the polycap seems to have been worn down already. As a result, they tend to come off frequently. Otherwise, it isn't too bad, at least while it's fresh out of the box. Oddly enough, I've got an older one, but its joints are not loose at all. That's probably because this older one has just been sitting in the glass cap. I've been moving this newer one a lot to evaluate the articulation, so that might have loosened it a bit. Oh, apparently this quote-unquote newer copy I'm reviewing is an older stock. I looked at the box and this one still has the red Bandai logo. The one I bought first already had the blue logo, so it's a later production. They might have refined the mold or improved the material quality. For other aspects of the build, the Gouf Revive sports a standard fare of construction for HG kits. No advanced building method, relatively low part count as well. The limbs have a bit of internal frame. The finished kit is light yet feels solid in the hand. For the most part, the seam lines are well disguised, appearing as panel lines as they are stylized. The most important ones to address are those on the pauldrons and the back of the lower legs. The left hand with the articulated fingers have the 4 fingers connected. Each has a ball joint that connects to the palm, so you can separate them if you want. There is a sticker for the mono eye, and this one I replaced it with one of those jewel-like stickers. I sanded off the gray part to create some space and just stuck it with some super glue. For this one, I used this sticker. No other color correcting foil stickers here, which is great. However, the manual shows the frame detail on the back of the shield painted gray, same as the joint construction in the heel. Some suggested detailing, I guess. Overall, the build design is nice. This was probably great at the time of its release, especially when compared to the original HG Gouf kit. Still, it's been a while since the HG Revive's release, which was 2016, and the mold this was based on, TR35, was 2 years older. HGs have improved a lot since then. That's not to say this is a bad kit though. With all that said, how does the HG Gouf Revive fare? Well, it's still pretty good even by today's standards. It does show its age in some aspects, but they're not a deal breaker. The overall look is great, detailed enough for an HG, and captures the essence of the mobile suit even with updated proportions. It has a great set of accessories and sufficient hand options. Articulation is decent. Build design is smart considering it's nearly a decade old at the time of this review. If you like the Gouf, you can't go wrong with this one. Maybe if you want a more featured kit and a more involved build experience, you can turn to the MG 2.0. In the 1/144th scale though, this is the definitive version of the Gouf in model kit form. For now at least, I'm still hoping Bandai will let us have an RG Gouf. Come on Bandai, it's about time. Oh right, Bandai did consider making an RG Gouf. They showed the preview of it back in 2012 along with the GM and Gundam ground type in the Gunpla Expo World Tour. They never materialized though. Looks like it's a good thing they didn't go through with it at the time. Much better if they developed an RG Gouf now with the current RG engineering. Anyway, pardon me for going on a tangent there. That's it. Those are my takes on the Gouf Revive. How about you? What's your experience with this kit? Plan on getting one? Sound off in the comments. Also, let me know if I missed anything. I'll stop rambling there. Like this video if this has been informative. Subscribe if I earned it, and as always, enjoy building.